Hey guys, Corona here today. I'm just doing something a little bit different from my usual videos because today we've seen some new stuff coming up from SDCC Capcom panel, and they've shown us some concept art of the subspecies equipment, and they've also shown us a new subspecies for a returning monster. So that's right, it's a subspecies, a brand new one for a returning monster that's coming up on Iceborne. So that's some of the stuff I want to focus on today. So in terms of the subspecies that's coming up, it's for the returning monster Glavenus. They call it the Acidic Glavenus. Now, I don't know a lot of information on it as of yet. What I do know is they have shown the introduction video and they have shown some gameplay footage. In terms of the combat mechanics, they have shown that it does have some new attacks, as well as the fact that it generates solidified acid on its tail, which is completely different to what we usually have with the standard Glavenus, which is where it heats up its tail by swiping it on the ground or by using its gigantic mouth as a whetstone to heat up its tail. So that's some of the stuff that they revealed. I'm going to show you footage of the introduction. This video was provided by someone on Twitter named Swordsman09. Thanks to him for providing that video. So here is a glimpse of the introduction that they provided during their SDCC panel. So, as you just saw right there, the Acidic Glavenus not only is a local around the Rotten Vale, it is also one of the apex monsters in the Rotten Vale area. It just took down a bunch of heroes and the Great Gyros, and it taunted them by pointing its tail to them, and then now it has its focus on the hunter itself. Now, one of the main things that I want to look at when it came to that video is that little detail when it comes to the tail itself. With the original Glavenus, we saw it heat up its tail by either biting its tail and using its mouth as a whetstone, or it would sweep its tail on the floor in order to generate that heat. With the Acidic Glavenus, as shown in the trailer, it instead generates the acid itself and solidifies it on its tail without having the need for a external source. So it generates that acidic tail on its own, and whenever it is in need to use its tail in a much faster manner, so it wants to swipe attacks much more quickly, it takes off that acidic state and then uses its sharpened state instead. And in terms of what's been revealed, they've also shown a small gameplay footage of the Acidic Glavenus in action, and again they state that the Acidic Glavenus, much like the original Glavenus, has 3 states. So it's got the acidic tail, the sharpened tail, and your dull tail or normal tail, as they would call it, similar to the original Glavenus with its heated tail, sharpened tail, and dull tail. So I'll just show you that real quick clip as of right now.
尻尾に結晶をつけている状態で、動きとしてはリノバルドの通常種に、近い重い動きとなっています。
So what you saw was the Glavenus with acidic crystals on it. So the speed of it is closer to that of a regular Glavenus.
ただ、尻尾にはですね、先ほども言ったようにその酸の属性がついてますので、このような感じで、エリアに酸属性を、マッチ出していくというところが、通常種とは異なるところです。
So again, it is a little bit slower, but it has an acid built into the tail, so it's able to kind of tackle it, kind of throw it around, and really has that opportunity of lowering the player's defense.
ただ、その結晶がマッチになった時に、飛び行動するので、このような形で、尻尾が、立ちのようになって非常に動きが素早くなっています。
When enough acidic crystals are kind of built up onto the tail, that's when it's going to sharpen all the crystals away, and that's where you have the sharpen state where it's a lot faster, a lot more powerful.
この時は非常にその機動力も高くて、尻尾にあるコンビネーションというのも非常に多彩になってくるので、プレイヤーはいかにこの状態をしのいでいくかというような、ことが求められています。
So again, when it's in this state, it's a lot more mobile and uses its katana-like tail to execute a lot of combo attacks. So it's up to the player to make sure, like, okay, know what's happening and make sure to move around as best as possible.
ただ、時間とともにですね、また、尻尾に結晶が付着してくるので、また、尻尾が重い状態になってきたら、大抵のような。
So again, as shown there, the acidic Glavenus, much like the regular Glavenus, has three different states: normal, sulfuric state, which is the acidic tail state, and the sharpened state. Now, as we have just seen there, they actually have a bunch of different animations in comparison to the original Glavenus when it comes to the sharpened tail state, because they said, as with the video, with regards to the acidic Glavenus, the acidic tail state is much more akin to the original Glavenus' state. So that means it's got the huge tail swipe, tail slams, and everything like that. Whereas when it comes to sharpening its tail, it gets a little bit faster, so it's much more agile. It tends to create large sweeping motions. Now, in terms of what this means, put it this way: if the original Glavenus was a great sword user, you can see the acidic Glavenus as being more akin to a longsword user. So it's got that much more quick, fast, sweeping attacks with a lot of motion values on it. So that's the main difference. In the normal state, again, much like the standard Glavenus, it's got that part where its tail has no power to it. It just means it uses more standard attacks. So in sulfuric state, acidic state, it's got large sweeping motions or large slamming motions, much like the standard Glavenus. In the sharpened state, it gains new attacks, so large sweeping attacks, kind of like a longsword user. And then of course you've got the normal state, which is the dull state of its tail, meaning that it's a bit more vulnerable to attacks from the hunter. So that's some of the stuff that they revealed, and I am personally excited to see what they have come up with when it comes to the other returning monsters. I want to see if they actually came up with new subspecies or if we're expecting to see the return of some of the other subspecies. I personally want to see more new subspecies because in terms of what they've done with the Glavenus, the original Glavenus back in Generations Ultimate did have another version of it, which is the Hellblade Glavenus. And again, much like the Acidic Glavenus, that one played completely differently to what we expect from the normal Glavenus. So I'm really hoping that they do this kind of approach again, where we see more of these returning flagship monsters have a particular subspecies unique to Monster Hunter World Iceborne. And that was pretty much for me today, folks. So as you've just seen right now, they've shown us a new gameplay footage of the upcoming subspecies, as well as the introduction video for the upcoming subspecies itself. So I'm really excited to see how the Acidic Glavenus is gonna be played out. I've just seen the video as you've just seen, so they have shown us what it's gonna be like in combat, but in terms of how it feels to actually fight this thing, nothing is better than personally experiencing it for yourself. So I cannot personally wait to actually fight this thing mano a mano, face to face in Rotten Vale with whatever weapon I happen to use at the time. So that is going to be really exciting to come up with. And in terms of the other returning monsters, I do hope they come up with new subspecies for them as well, just like with the Glavenus. We have had previous subspecies for these monsters. So with the Nargacuga, you had the Silver Wing and the Green Nargacuga. With the Tigrex, you had the Molten Tigrex and the Brute Tigrex. With Brachydios, you had Monster Hunter for Ultimates Raging Brachydios variant. And in Monster Hunter Explorer spin-off, you also had the Evangelion Brachydios. So I'm really hoping that they come up with some new variants or subspecies for these monsters, as well as the Barioth, which we have just seen to be confirmed with Game Informer. So we already had the Sand Barioth in the previous games. I'm hoping they come up with something new with the Barioth as well in terms of a subspecies in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. They have also shown us some new concept art for the Fulgur Anjanath equipment, as well as the Ebony Dogoron equipment. So those are some of the stuff that they've shown during the SDCC panel. And not gonna lie, I really hope that with the new layered armor system, we can craft these as layered armor. They have shown that they are working on a new layered armor system where we can craft layered armor as opposed to just earning them through delivery and event quests. And that is pretty much it for me today, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.